Hey there everyone, it's Anthony here, and I just want to take a moment of your time to tell you a little bit about Kenshi. Now Kenshi is an open-ended, squad-based strategy RPG, which is a little bit of a mouthful, and honestly when I looked into purchasing this game I couldn't really find a lot about it. So I'm going to try and explain to you in the next 20 minutes or so, depending on how much waffle I give, probably a lot, because I am really interested in this game. I'm just going to try and explain kind of everything you need to know about the game firstly, what the game is trying to achieve, where it's going to be in the future, and just kind of the state it's in now. So, you are buying an alpha product. It's fair enough to say Kenshi is in its very, very, very early stages. Alpha is alpha. You've got to remember, this is not the final product. Everything could change. It runs like shit. It looks like shit. This is true. And this is on the highest settings. It still does not look good at all. But the key to this game is in the potential that it actually has to unlock of the future, which is why I do believe, you know, if you purchase this on Steam, yes, the company therefore has it has more money. Now this company is called Lo-Fi Games, and they are publishing it themselves. They are not owned by EA or something like that, so don't worry, you know, they're not going to be making them release this game before it should have been released, SimCity. So it's going to be, you know, your money really does help them, and I can see this as kind of the Kickstarter kind of style to it, okay? So you buy these early access games, you help them develop it, you discuss them on the Steam forums, you put forward ideas, and this is the sort of thing it needs. Yes, it has bugs, but they know that. They can't really spend all their time fixing bugs because they're still trying to make a good game, and this costs £11. So it's not a lot of money, but still, if you're putting this kind of investment into something, you want to get some kind of return. So, I'm just going to start off with a quote by Rock Paper Shotgun, which you can find on the Steam page. And it says, "This level of thoughtfulness and ambition is why I learned to love the PC in the first place, and I'll be damned before I put on my cynical hat before I have good reason." So basically this is alpha, and this is so creative, this is so thoughtful, and this is a very kind of good idea which you need to see. You know, I think it's something that I really want to see played out. I'm really interested in seeing how this game is developed. Which again is why you should early access. You know, you can have your say, you can have your little contribution, your voice, in which the developers will listen and they can react, and you can blossom into this beautiful relationship between developer and actually having a game which you want to play. So, open-ended, squad-based RPG, strategy, all these things it's throwing at it here. It is a mix of so many different things. You name it, Minecraft, Mount and Blade. And I'm not meaning like combat, I'm meaning as in the freedom that you get with these games. With Minecraft you can build whatever the hell you want. Kenshi has that, it has the ability to build stuff. With Mount and Blade you can be kind of like train up your army, or you can join the army and go around to these different places. Kenshi has that. But it also has this really interesting squad-based element which kind of reminds me a little bit of Dawn of War 2, especially in the campaign game mode where you have to level up your squads, stuff like that. Kenshi has a slight element of that. I'm not saying that it's a direct thing of this game, but it just pulls these little strings of strategy from everywhere and puts them all together to give you this really nice sandbox feel. It is a sandbox game, and it is it's just so free. You can be whatever you want. So if you want to be this big hefty soldier guy, you can just join the army, maybe do that for however long, and you can like, right, go and recruit a load of mercs, set up a camp, be a bandit, go do whatever the hell you want. Or you could be a merchant, and you could start maybe a trade centre or something like that. And the idea is that they're planning on doing here is other squads, other teams, they all want to reach a similar goal. So maybe someone wants good for the realm, someone wants bad, or so, I don't know, it could be anything. And you can work together with what they are claiming is very smart AI. And you work together in this dynamic changing world, and you just keep going, because the world's evolving around you as you do it, and you need to adapt to survive. So you have that survival aspect as well, which is another thing that the game has. Now this is single player only, and it's something that you'd probably consider would be fantastic co-op, which honestly I cannot see. I can see it being added, really. I cannot see it as something in the close future. I think it'll be something in the long run that will decide maybe a good step to add some co-op, because I think this will be a great co-op game, working together as a team, setting up camps, stuff like that, which will be very, very cool. So, in Kenshi you create a character. The character creation is very basic at the moment, but as I said, alpha, very early on the stage. This isn't a massive hundreds of thousands. There aren't thousands of people working on this game. This is a very small team. So, the map is huge, okay? And you create your characters in the very limited character creation, and you are just thrown straight into this. There is a tutorial. It's not a tutorial as in you know it where it holds your hand and takes it through. It is literally a manual built into the game. Now obviously that could change, but I don't know, that's just how it is at the moment. So it took me a good few hours to figure out what the fuck I was doing, I'm not gonna lie. So you're in this huge map, and again, this isn't finished, but it gives you a brief idea of how the towns are and how it works. So you can trade between the towns. You can see they have different trade values. You can recruit people from the taverns, which you may have seen in Mount and Blade. So you could do the classic Mount and Blade strategy, going around recruiting little people from all the towns and just create an army. And you can go into the desert, build a base, and any merchants that walk past you can rob them, which is really cool. Or you can be a merchant, go around. It's this freedom. It's this constant kind of constant set of ideas. But with your characters, there are no heroes. You don't have... No one is, like, stronger. No stats make them better than everyone else. Everyone's potentially equal. They all have a name and they all have their, like, life. Okay, as it were. So, you know, you can research new technology if you build yourself a little base, and you can upgrade defenses and craft gear and stuff like that. But you're always... You know, there isn't, like, this guy has plus 20 armor because of these points, similar again to Mount and Blade. None of that. Everyone's equal at the start, which is really cool. And the whole point of the game is, yes, it's a sandbox, you have to make your own way. You do not start off as a warrior or a thief or, I don't know, the general of the army of the dead or some, whatever the hell. You don't start off as that. That's something that you have to earn, which I think is really cool, because that's not something that we see nowadays in games. So we've got the RTS RPG hybrid genre, which is really cool. So you can be good, you can be evil, you've got all those possibilities there. Sandbox. Really cool. So, quote the Steam page again, you are not the chosen one, you're not great and powerful, you do not have more hit points than anyone else, and you are not the centre of the universe, you are not special unless you work for it. Again, pushing that, the best become the best, that sort of thing. You really have to work hard, and you're going to have to make a lot of decisions, because this game is not easy. I've played many an attempt, and I usually end up being slaughtered in the desert, because I don't have enough money to go around collecting other people and stuff like that, because I am pretty bad at it. So combat is very important, and it has a very realistic medical system. So if you've got a wounded leg, you're going to limp, you know, you might have to crawl, you're going to be slowing your entire party down, which is a bit of a thing. So maybe you might want to get someone else to carry them, and maybe you've got people with first aid training which you can use and take them off to your bases. Now, bases is something I'll talk a little bit about soon. A lot of cool ideas have gone into now. So everything that I'm saying now, you know, this is either in the game currently or will soon be in the game. They could always add on to this. They could very easily push so much more content into the game, but again, at this point, they're just trying to get all of their kind of ideas and then put it together into one fully working product, which is going to take a long time. So you gotta stay with them, keep your feedback going. But so far, it is looking fantastic. So you've got to keep your team alive, which can be a bit of a trouble in the wasteland. You can maybe kill off a load of bandits and take all their gear. Again, it's very similar to Mount and Blade. Now, they claim that the AI is intelligent, so characters can work together, as I've said, and maybe, this is not something that they have mentioned, but I'm assuming that the AI, the enemy AI, as in bandits and stuff like that, may constantly be working to upgrade themselves. Which, I'm kind of paraphrasing this from what they've said, but it is possible that the AI on the enemy team, the bandits may, you know, they might try and take over places or get better. Again, that is an idea. That's something they could add in, which would be really, really cool. There's no level scaling on your characters, so, you know, the world doesn't level up along with you. Shops don't change their inventory to any items matching their level. Again, I'm quoting the Steam page there. Everyone's going to be stronger than you at the beginning, and you've got to learn to survive. And that's basically how it goes. Again, sandbox. How are you going to do that? What are you going to do to get to the kind of the same point as everyone else? How are you going to be better? Stuff like that. You're constantly being challenged with these ideas, which you've got to kind of overcome and just be smarter than, which was really cool. So they claim to have an original game world, and by that they mean that there is no magic. So this is meant to be not necessarily realistic, but more kind of no cliches. There's no skill points or anything like that. They're trying to keep it as kind of real to life, and I guess the word immersive, I know that's thrown around a lot nowadays, but more immersive, you know, as they can. Again, kind of means that what would you do in this situation? Not cast fireball to deal magic, heal, stuff like that. It's more, what would you do? So if you've got someone with a broken leg, what you can do? You're going to carry him back or something like that. Pretty cool. I think that's some pretty cool idea. And there's factions in the game, which is very similar to Mount and Blade again. So with these factions, everyone's going to want the most wealth. It always reminds me of Game of Thrones. Everyone wants the seat. They want to be in charge. They want to be the big balls. They want to be at the top. what you're going to do. You could team up, or you could kill them all off, or you could maybe kill off some of them. I don't know. Sandbox, do whatever the hell you want, which is really cool. These are all just ideas which they're going to add in, and I would love to see them keep pushing this content out of the game, because so far it's a concept really. What they have so far is really solid, and everything that they've said they're going to do is absolutely solid. It's just getting there and getting it working, and honestly getting it up to a standard which everyone's going to enjoy. Which, I mean, so far I'm having a lot of fun, but I have seen in the Steam forums especially, everyone is complaining because people don't seem to understand this is alpha. No one's saying that this is the finished product. They are saying that it's going to be a long time till we get there, because they're working as hard as they can to get to it, but there is so much stuff they want to add. And in a sandbox game, there are unlimited possibilities, and you need to cover as many of... you gotta try and make the experience the same and just as good for everyone, whatever they try and do. So this is now probably one of the biggest features which the game offers, and that's the base building. So you can go anywhere in the desert, and as long as you've got the supplies and the materials, you can make a base. Now this could be some kind of outpost for defending against bandits, or maybe storing your army there, or be a trader, I don't know, make a trade town, something like that. Very, very cool. You can have maybe wind turbines and walls and defences and saloons, all sorts, absolutely all sorts. Really, really cool. And this is the thing that I find really clever. You can actually get members of your team, you can go and collect up these people and hire them, and you can set them off to do really stupid jobs. So let's say you've got a lovely little farm town that you've set up. You can maybe set off different people at different ranks and stuff like that, and maybe get them to go off, and this guy can farm this area, this guy can farm this area, this guy maybe patrols, something like that. This is something which they're actually playing into the game. And eventually you could make a big city, and you could have people going around doing what they want, or you could make a ridiculously defended fortress, and everyone has little jobs at guarding, maybe have patrols that go out and stuff like that. Personally, I think the idea of a little farming village which is quite well defended is actually really cool. It's so clever. It really is, and this is a really good idea. Now, obviously, everything I've mentioned here, probably I'd say about, I don't know, between 2/3 and 1/3, so about half. Well, that was stupid. Probably about half of the stuff's actually in the game working, and that's been generous. But this game has a lot of potential, so do not think that because the graphics are shit and because it runs like shit, it's not that bad, that it runs pretty terrible. Just because it runs shit and the graphics are shit and there is not a mass amount of content or tutorial or any kind of idea of what you're meant to be doing in the game, don't think that this game is destined to fail, because this is just the start of what it's going to be in the future, and it is going to be an absolutely fantastic game. And I'm going to keep you just constantly updated on new content and stuff like that. So please guys, do give Kenshi a go. It's certainly worth looking into, especially in the future, because it's going to blossom into something absolutely amazing. And I think this is the kind of game we need to see more of, because we are roped down so much now with what we call a campaign, which is literally just 5-6 hours of scripted events. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I just think it's good every now and then, especially on the PC genre, to have something which you have your own experience with, you make your own way. Kenshi is what's going to offer that to everyone. So thank you guys for listening to a load of waffle, and hopefully you managed to get something out of it. So this is just kind of everything that you need to know about how to, not necessarily get started in Kenshi, but kind of what they're planning to do and what's in the game so far. So this is really worth the purchase, or maybe just watch. I mean, there's some really good Let's Plays up on YouTube, and I'd certainly recommend watching some of them. But yeah, Kenshi, hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you'll have a really good day, and hope you do give the game a look. I've been Anthony, and I'll see you all later.